Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thursday, I believe. It better be Thursday, I'm hoping. Not entirely sure what day it is if it's not. We are hanging out on the Java server today, and we have a little bit of this and that and the other thing to do, just like we always do. Going to start with just putting out some... I'm going to do a quick tour of the way the roof ended up being, and then I'm going to give you... get on to dealing with the laying down the dirt the way that we had talked about, because we need to level this section out a little bit more, figure out where we're going to go to, probably down through this bit, maybe one up if we can, and this bit can come down because we're going to be doing some carpet art or a statue fairly soon. So yeah, that's about the size of it, I suppose. First things first, we're going to actually take a detour, and we're going to head on to the roof and do that last bit of shopping, because yesterday I picked up
hello there,
and purpley, and I did not get sea lanterns. So yeah, 'tis a thing. Good morning, Mike. How are you today? Or good afternoon, sorry. It is only 5 after 10 my time. It feels like I didn't go to bed, but I just was that out of it, and split shifted on the couch last night. So yeah, so we're going to shop, roof, dirt till we run out, and then if there's time left, we're going to go diamond mining. So yeah, that's about the size of it. Your plan? No. Oh, okay, I have moved things. This used to be up, and I've moved it so that down is now over here, and up is here. And what happens with that is we end up, I've used this a couple times, but we'll end up near the wall, okay, rather than in the other corner. And what that does for me, aside from making me forget that I didn't bring another block, what that does for me is that here, I jump up there, and then just let myself, oh, come on, boom, then I can easily just go down. So I thought that was a little more convenient, and yeah, it helped. So then I've got all the signs stuck together, so we've got everything from removing the... Apparently I'm thinking a lot about brewing spaces. I can take this one out. Duplicated. There was something I was supposed to put there, and I can't remember what it was. How about this? Oops. Yeah, this. Something I forgot. There we go. So we've got some brewing space, then we've got general mob farm, upgrade the smelting. These are sort of, this is maybe, because it does well enough for what we need so far. General mob farm, you always need whatever it is that they get. And then level out a build space, clear cutting. So we need those things for sure. Oh, I need more diamonds. That's one thing I forgot. That's not for shopping. I need diamond blocks if we're going to do diamond blocks in the sky. So, mining for Lucy's blocks of diamonds. Okay, that'll work.
Hello.
Good morning to you, Mama Bear, or afternoon, depending on where you are. And hopefully all is well for you. Go mining for Lucy's blocks of diamonds. That is one thing I forgot. It actually occurred to me, just for fun. Well, not for fun, actually, for possible usefulness. I like playing Minecraft. I can hyper-focus a lot on Minecraft. So it actually has occurred to me to try. It's this weird suggestion I got from another player. Oh, well then good morning to you. But what they have done is they put a lectern down with a book on the lectern, okay? And then this stuff stays up here. This is all the in-game stuff to do. But then on the lectern, they actually have a book where they've been listing a lot of their real-life to-do things. Sort of like the reasons to be offline. And so sometimes it's actually quite literally reasons to be offline. Other times it's just to-dos. So, like, they could say, not just touch grass, but get outside, stretch, it's good for your body, go for a walk, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then there's also the, I need to do laundry, and I need to wash up some dishes, and I need to, water the plants that are probably dead by now, even though they're succulents. That sort of thing. And so the idea being, maybe I'll just do it while I talk about it. I won't actually show you guys everything that's on my list. I need a bookshelf because I don't have a lectern. Okay, that's fine. Let's make one. Perch, because, perch. Okay. Yes, thank you. Boop. I have extras? Oh, I had 3 bookshelves. Duh. Brainiac. Okay. So then that means I might as well save myself some time on the getting of books. That'll be easier. Except for the fact that we're going to punch this one, because otherwise everything else I have right now is Silk Touch. There we go. And I'll put 2 of these away.
Welcome.
1, 2. Readable books need ink sacs. And I don't have any feathers on this floor. Ah! There's a mob drop thing around here. Where did I find? Oh, I did not. Alright. Let's go grab 1 feather. Because Belen, I think that's it. Yes. Book and quill, sure. No, I will not lock the book, but I want it to kind of glow. So we'll see about whether or not that works. Alright, yeah. Done. And can I name it? Oh, it does not let me name it if I don't put it in there. That might help. IRL. Press this. There we go. I could have named the lectern. That would have been smart. That could be smart. Now, the idea with this is that when I'm running around doing various things, that this should theoretically grab my attention. So I need to put it somewhere dead obvious. How about dead obvious / not in the way, though? That's another problem. I'm using these walls like right up against the post, so that's not helpful. I guess. Where would you put it? Actually, no. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay. Smack in the middle. And I know it means we have to go around it in game. But for now, that will. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, that's no good. So I have to take the book. It says RL task list, but that's not going to help. I need the name tag. It's got to be on lectern. Try this again. RL task list. So the idea being that as I walk by, it's going to remind me, hey, I've got stuff I should be doing that's not related to Minecraft. Let's go right there. Nope. Alrighty. Well, that's interesting. Do I have to name tag it? I don't know. For now, I know what it's for. That. Let's do it the kludgy way temporarily, and then we shall fix it later. I'm not going to waste glow ink on it, though, because I don't have a whole ton of glow ink. And yes, this does seem squirrely. There we go. Outside. Out in the upper line. Outside. Can I type? Minecraft task list. Do it. There we go. Alrighty. I did see some of your photos, Mike, for the concrete stuff. I didn't quite understand what you were doing with it, but I'm glad that the caps appeared to turn out solid. I see, Poodle. Thank you very, very much. I also did catch your message. I'm gonna... Let's see. What am I doing? Okay, vines, blah, blah, blah. Did I actually... Okay. Sorry, I've got a to-do list in-game. And this is related... Not in-game directly. DM Poodle. Emotes. This is outside the game, but it's not the type of thing that would make my list because... Or, like, make the book list. Because it's a 30-second thing that's no advantage. Well, thank you. I think. I'm not even sure what exactly happened there. I believe that was a new follower, most likely. And I've asked it to be somewhat quiet, so yeah. We'll just note and leave it at that. Okay, so this, I need to figure out a better way of doing it. So if somebody remembers how to make name tags stick up off stuff, aside from putting things in item frames, that would be helpful. Alright, this way, see, the reason for the lectern, as opposed to just using an item frame, is A, it's in your face, and B, that you can read the book without actually mucking around with its contents, or to actually have to take it off and do anything with it, whereas an item frame I'd have to take it down. Okay, so let's get these slabs out of the way and then get off to shopping, because we've got a little bit longer today to work with, but on the other hand, just because we have longer doesn't necessarily mean that this is a smart idea. How did I? Huh. Right. I've got a weird stream manager layout going on my iPad that distracted me for a second, and I was trying to figure out what caused it. And I've just decided that right now is not the time to fathom that. Uh-oh. Not bad, okay. Hello, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Good to see you today. So we appear to be having an organic growth day. I think I just was scraping the bottom of timings, or worse. Actually relying a little too heavily on my watch to be not too bad. Like the fact that my watch sometimes is in a very slightly different edit than the rest of the planet. So for example, like, you know how sometimes, even with electronics, how sometimes, where am I? What's me up? Things drift. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to go show you guys, but I got a blue cat yesterday. It's neither here or there, but that's one of the colors I did not have. And it was hanging out here and weirdly following me around even though I hadn't fed it yet. But I was relying too much on the drift of electronics, I suppose, because of what it said on the ceiling of my clock was 2 minutes behind. And I thought everything, and I moved the door. I thought everything else was my watch matched, so I figured, okay, I got 2 minutes, but as in I got downstairs, fired up the computer, and it said I was 4 minutes late. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It does not take me 6 minutes to go down the stairs. Oh, thanks, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. We are playing a playlist by, where's it here? Put together by a user on Spotify. But all tracks are available on Epidemic Sound. Trust me, I looked at a lot of them. It took me a while to go through about 100 songs. That's only about a third of the list. But the idea being that they do update regularly, and I spot checked. Hello. I spot checked about 100 of them, and yes, they are indeed on Epidemic's current library. So I'm crossing my fingers that I'm not going to get a tag for it. Okay, so where we ended up, I moved the door because I wasn't doing the nether stuff as much. And I've shuffled up the trees. Part of the logic behind it was this one, with its cap, tends to overflow its bucket a little bit. this one tends to make everything podzol. I have not grown a tree since I put it there, so I don't know if the extra block of gap will actually keep it from turning things. Most of the, well, I'll just say most, there's a lot of these where it's a stripped version of the tree in the growth zone, but the dark oak and the spruce were done with the melon design we talked about because both of them have really dark colored woods when I stripped them. Spruce isn't as bad as the dark oak in that sense, but it matched really too closely with the podzol. And since I can't do anything about the existence of the podzol, then I figured I would swap it out. And this green looked better with the trees than the orange did. The orange was too samey. So yeah, that's where that went that way. It allowed us to push down. No, you're outside. I'm leaving you be. It allowed us to push down the mangrove tree plot because a lot of the a lot of the time it's growing in the plot, but there are times that it was overgrowing the plot. So I figured, okay, well, we'll go for pretty close to the max. I don't know if this is 11 by 11, or if this is full 13. I can't be bothered to count at the moment. But as you can see, technically I've got one edge to finish. What I'm going to do to remind myself is actually, what have I got? One on each end? Okay. I'm going to move this strip to the other side, and that's all I'm going to do because we have other plans. I guess it's 11. But that way, this bit is done, the bit I can't see, and the bit I can see out the door as I run around and do various things is the one that needs to finish. And that will remind me to come out and fix this. Either that or it'll annoy me repeatedly and I will comment on it repeatedly, you know? And I forgot to bring a fence. That's okay. I pretend that's not a thing. There's where all the saplings are going to go. For now, that's my ender chest. And then this bed is... I don't have one inside anymore, but I put it out here so that when I'm chopping trees, I can just come and sleep, and that's that. Alright. And this one did still grow lovely even after I chopped it and regrew it, so... Excuse you! So I grew it inside instead. That's about the size of everything. Okay. So, here. Mushrooms. As podzol happens, if it goes in the other pots, when I fix the other pots, I'm going to put them in the mushroom pots, because that looks not bad from out here. This one, I'm not quite sure what happened. I think I must have punched it by accident, but if you punch it rather than chopping it, it just disappears. Which is something that doesn't happen with wood, so PSA, don't punch a mushroom. I think that's about the end of it. Yeah. What occurred to me at one point was I've only got one set of stairs that does this whole top floor, so I have to go round the whole way. At some point, I think what we might do instead, because it's sort of a U-shaped design up top, and the entrance is up here, is I think I might punch another hole in the backside of the map room. It's not, truthfully, because the map thing's in the way, it's not actually much of a speed bonus to get around that way. The other thing is I'm not entirely sure where this comes out on lower floors, but I had thought about potentially putting an elevator or a drop in at the other side. So come out the way we expect, go around the long way, and then be able to drop down the back corner. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Down below the map room, things wrap around. Ah, so if I put a drop in, it's probably going to come out somewhere in here. I guess actually that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if I ended up down here, there really isn't a shortcut out of this room. So not exactly convenient. This is still running. How are we doing up there? Okay, we're fine. So yeah, that's about the size of all the minor changes I made off screen, which, of course, being Delenn, it took forever. Okay. I went up for a reason, didn't I? Yes, I did. Cleaning one thing because it was bugging me. We need a quick shopping trip. I don't know where all these guys are coming from. Like, I had none for so long, and now I've got a ton of these visitors. So I may end up having to do the classic thing I usually do and put fences up here. Start with the shopping trip and then we'll hit the mailbox. Eco currently says Disney miscellaneous named 2 fictional islands. So yeah, Treasure Island, Muppet Island. I'm not exactly too sure about that one. Robinson Crusoe Island. That Robinson Crusoe Island. And then, I mean, I guess technically there's an island, although it's not specifically named. Though you're on the same track with the Swiss Family Robinson stuff. I mean, if we're talking Disney, I believe they have a section in one of their parks or something they talk about. It's like Islands of Adventure. I was here yesterday to grab lights, and I was saying, hey, I didn't get the frog lights. Yes. No, I got the frog lights. I didn't get the sea lanterns. And then I tuned into Dadcraft's stream last night. Very first thing I saw was people going and buying sea lanterns. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it's because I didn't go behind the 7-Eleven. You know, I should have done that because this one. Right. Custom trees, huh? Hello, Moo. Oh, I love this song. I've never heard it before, but I'm liking the way this works. 2 stacks of diamond. Hey, that is not a ripoff. That is nice. Okay. So, looking around, there's an ATM. Here's the wallet. That's kind of scary. It's that easy. It's like burning a hole in my pocket, right? Yeah. Well, let's pay for this one before we get too far. So, that. Right, I'm paid up. Okay. So then, this one has those. I don't think I can need those yet. I know where to buy them there. How's that? Where's Marine? Well, being as you can't cut the sea lanterns, I don't think they're too much to worry about. Okay. I love the fact there's a little living space in the back. That's pretty awesome. It's funny, given the content of here, of this, like what this place sells, the only thing, and maybe I should poke through here to find out. Nope. Okay. The only thing I would say is missing is given the fact that it came from an underwater location. It almost needs like an armor stand with a black leather armor outfit. And no, that sounds wrong, but what I'm using it in place of is to have like a diving suit for the person who went and collected all this stuff. Right, so you can pretend it's like your wetsuit with your air tanks and so on and so forth. So the diving gear is missing. It's a great place to live, but your diving gear is missing. But otherwise, I love the shop. Like, I love this cart. This is so much fun. And actually, I could easily see this sort of shop working for just about anything you want to put in it. Because it also looks like one of those carts that used to like drive through town and offer just about anything. Like in Canada, there was in Western Canada at least, there was a guy who did that sort of thing. Not a guy, but like a... Character's the wrong word for it. Okay, hang on a sec here. I was inside, and I swear it felt like it was entirely enclosed. Was I just being dumb? Yes, I was being dumb. I looked out the window, then didn't think it was real. Go figure. Okay, but in Canada we had a guy that many people refer to as the Watkins Man. And you basically... Supposedly he worked for a mail order type company. Or sometimes they'd have stuff in stock and you could buy it right from them. But they would go around with their cart and horse, and I don't know if they'd stay places. That I'm not entirely sure about how that worked. But yeah, you could order things, buy things from the Watkins van, which is not exactly a great idea. That is cool. It's quiet. I don't think I muted dog barks. Okay. Let's get out of here. I bought what I came to buy. Coming soon. Looks to me like it's here. I think we're good. I better get out. What's this? Free chocolate chip cookies. Ah. Wow. I love the idea, actually. That's kind of cool. Okay, so if I actually need redstone bits and bobs that I don't have the ability to make, or I'm just too lazy to make. Excellent. All good. Okay, I'm getting out of here because I have a dearth of blocks. Not a whole lot of, not dearth, sorry, yeah, I'm a little short on diamond blocks, so I'm going to be writing things in them. So we may end up having to look for a substitute long term. Yeah, we may have to be looking for a substitute long term. I think I've got all the light sources I can handle at the moment. So let's go home. Okay, this one amuses me. We have the whole car full of iron. And this is... yeah, Crazy Irons discount stuff. So the number of boxes below is actually smaller than it used to be. One iron diamond per 2 stacks. Okay, so basically you're looking at 1 diamond for 2 stacks of iron blocks. That's hard to beat. Shoo! I'll be going home alone, not with Bonnie Jean. Okay. As we always do, because we're out and about, we need to check the mail. I'm hoping there'll be nothing there, but you never know. I actually realized recently, I was playing around for a totally different reason in our National Postal System's iPhone app, and discovered, and have since done, that I could sign up for notifications of more or less what's coming in the mail, quite literally. So I provided that the provider has all the correct details on the outside of their mail. You can it'll tell you what's coming. So for example, it even includes addressed ad mail, and it'll tell you who it's from. Good, the box is empty. That's perfect. I don't think I told you yesterday. Hopefully, yeah. These are waiting for you, Mama Bear, when you want them. And if there's anything else I can throw in there, please do let me know. All right. No problemo. Oh, right, yes. There's something somebody told me about ages ago at Spawn, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and I remembered. It was unusual, but Little Pirate had said if I actually wanted a horse, there were tons of wild ones kicking around at Spawn. Aside from the chaos of bringing them through the portal, I realized, well, yeah, you would probably need a saddle for that, and that's not something I currently possess, but now that I have wings, I'm not really in a particular rush either. It should not take me 2 rockets to get home. If I'm using them for long distance travel, I should probably consider making longer duration ones. In which case, once again, I need to go for the Project of a Common... That's more one of those on spec because I always have horses. This is actually be the first season in a long time I don't have one, but I'm totally cool with that because I don't really need one. I'd probably give it some sort of cheesy name. Like this. Was my joke about not having a horse. Yeah. It was only funny until we actually went and opened up the end. And now it's not really funny at all. Seriously, boys. Okay. Do I have any... No, I don't have any signs on me. Making another snap decision. You know how those go. This one, that one, and... How do I do that? Not these. Don't need 3 gates, but that'll do. Let's see, in the nether. I need a sign for the nether. Jungle's relatively easy to read. Just go birch because I've got them. If I have 1 lonely spruce sign, that'll do. That's dark in the nether, let's go birch. I just like birches for signs because they're easy to read. So maybe I need 2. But thank you very much for sleeping, whoever it is that did. I appreciate it. One block deep or 2? 2. And if you don't have a 8. So then we're going to let's see what type of sign this is. And it is definitely not a birch sign. It's an oak sign. It'll do. Okay, let's see. Do I have one on the other side? Yes, I do. One side will do oak then, and the other side will do birch, because I didn't match them up. I'm going to put name on this side. Throw that one up there. Oh, that's not what I want, but it'll do. Sign. Sign, sign, everywhere sign. Done. Okay. Visitors. Welcome. Migrants. Oh shoot, doesn't fit on 2 lines. Doesn't fit on 1 line. Let's do it the other way. This way. Visitors. Welcome. Vagrants. Discouraged. Yes. Let's be mean and blunt today, right? This one. Visitors. Welcome. There we go. Alright. Not quite enough of a spot for me to successfully fly into, but it does the trick. Now here's the thing. Because I have multiples here right now, I can't exactly do a whole lot about... Well, maybe I don't have multiples. I just have that one guy. Unless the other ones ended up on a different floor. Ah. You, sir, can go outside. Go. 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 Goodbye. Scan. Do I have... Nope. I do not have others on this floor. That's good. that's that problem solved. It's fine when I have one or two, but when there's a whole bunch of them up there, that gets to be a little bit excessive. When I started, I had a plan, and I forgot along the way. So I said, shopping, roof tour, or in no particular order, and then dirt project. Okay, let's put away the wallet. Let's move the string. String is a wonderful thing. Oh, forget that's there. So maybe I'll put it up here instead. Useless stone buttons. Oh, I have a saddle! Haha! And I have one wolf armor. So at some point I'm going to need to get 3 more, dye them blue and go dog hunting. Not a today thing, but maybe a sometime, someday hunt. Okay. Do I have... That's what I'm missing. I'd forgotten about something. Basically what happened was I took a sign down, got distracted, something derailed me, came back to put it up and went, and you know what it was. Let's take this. Actually, don't worry about that one right now. Let's put it on this one first. Clear cut. Cutting. And level out build space. Okay, great. Then we need this one. Not clear cutting anymore. I could put another sign up, but I just didn't feel like it at the moment. Get 4 dogs with blue arm. That looks weird. The reason it has to be 4 specifically is there is a character, well, not a character, the blue meanies have a dog that's actually a 4-headed dog with 6 legs, I think it is. But, of course, being Minecraft, this is probably easier just to get 4 different dogs, one for each of the heads, and then put them all in blue armor because they're blue, and then have that as my reference. Only 4 this time, we're not talking like 32. And this one here, just for clarification, this has nothing to do with Max Money. The leader of the Blue Meanies has his sort of second in command, whose name is Max. He's like, no, your blueness. Which is actually yes in their world. They don't take yes for an answer. So, yeah. So this side is more the project stuff, except the dogs is kind of an overlap, which makes sense. And then these are the things I'm supposed to do at the base. Alright. So now we need the blocks of dirt and grass. We're going to lay some of that down for a little bit. Did we go with the correct door? Yes. Yesterday off stream, one of the things I took care of was determining what the border is all the way around. On the naturally generated mansion, it only went part way with this whole stairs and walls thing. It didn't go all the way around every bit of it. So we were getting, you know, as you guys had seen, we had zombies and skeletons stuck there. And it was a perfect place for spiders to climb up the side of the building at night. So we, look at there. Now, I wanted to level this out a bit so that we can do a carpet art on it, because the clear cut worked actually quite well. Looking at the rest of this property, for the most part, actually, let's see, does Journey Map show me any better? Yes, topography, okay. Better. So, for carpet art purposes, this section down to the south of us, as well as most likely, I'm gonna say, possibly the north, we have to check out this little dip here. But I'd say most likely, actually the south is probably one of the worst. Maybe that's not the best? This bit here is definitely a dip I don't really want to be mucking with if I don't have to. That seems to be sort of the big ravine spot near us. Kind of funny how the sub turns up. Anyhow, so for carpet art, this here is actually a little bit of a ravine, so I don't want to deal with that if I don't have to. Statue might be better down here, but anyways, if I take out this section, which you can see from this very straight line I was starting to, maybe that's a ravine I can fill. I'm not entirely sure because I didn't think it was that close. But for carpet, it might be best to go to the east or to the north, because either one of those look a little bit flatter, which case we'll be doing a lot of chopping. Okay, well, I guess instead of placing dirt, we are chopping holes down. Right, so let's see how much distance we've got on this one, roughly. So the wall of the mansion, let's look at it in chunks, that's probably even easier.
Hello.
Hello, Yellow! It was your Twitchy app. Refresh, now you can hear me. Yes. So, Twitch allows... Not in that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. 5-ish chunks have been cleared. Alright. Make sure it's following me? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So about 6 chunks have been cleared, which means I should probably do about 6 chunks all the way around. However, that'll probably get me into trouble down here, because I think that's where one of the ravines is. Another one there. Another one up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can avoid it, I think. And this one will run into trouble here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the dip. 6. Okay. We do about 6 chunks all the way around, more or less. Then we should be able to have enough space to work with. We'll have a lot more wood and mushrooms and everything else. So there's a chance. I don't think it's actually the same, but there was a chance. I thought. Yeah, the spacing isn't right. But yesterday I mistakenly thought that Dadcraft made it all the way out here, more or less, when he was looking for ice. Which is a bit of a shame, because you can see where my base is, and there's the pillager tower, and if you go just to the northwest, it's super snowy, but for generic ice, not packed ice. There's some good zones out that direction, but the problem is it's generic ice, right? It's just snowy, so that's not helpful for what he was actually looking for. Maybe up here? Yeah. Anyway, sorry for derailing. Alright. So we're back in a choppity chop mode a little bit. That's about as exciting as it sounds. Oh, and it must be nighttime because I see... Yep. Because I see zombies lurking around the edge. Okay. Sleep. And then we'll pick up a lot of our little allies and let them do their thing. Question will be, do I do birch first or dark oak first? Minutes ago, Yellow was the absolute first here. Congratulations and welcome on in. Mike has been a busy guy, so it's possible that that's why he didn't get his... Huh. Okay, I am so not going out the north door. That's just not happening. Spiders to the east. Great. Let's do one more. So I'm going to hit the other map and take a look at Topo again one more time. Yeah. Not fun. East's okay. West is pretty flat. I need to see what this is. Roundabout. Let's see what's its edge. We're doing 53, 46, 39. Okay, so somewhere out there. I need to figure what that is. Because if that's the hole that I was worried about, then that's not going to be ideal. Actually, that might be a good statue spot. Who knows? And what I was originally trying to decide is if I go to the west, I figure out what this whole thing is, then I'd want the guys to be picking up dark oak. If we go east, it might be dark oak at first, but then we'd have them picking up birch, and it looks like I dilly-dallied long enough that those creepers are gone. Alright. Not quite perfect, but that'll work. Let's go north then. So north was birch. Yeah. So 3 of them are ready to go. We need wood, sticks, saplings, and I'm assuming leaves. Wow, crazy music. Okay, so we need a log, a leaf, and a sapling. Stick. A stick. A stick. Huh. Don't see much in... I could use that up, that's fine, but I don't see much in the way of tools for that one. So we have our netherite axe, regular one. Okay, that's fine. So then we would have... Pardon me, I don't know if I really want leaves right now. Actually, I don't really want saplings either. Torn between leaf wrecker and the silk touch one. This doesn't really matter. 2, 3, 4. Go with silk touch. And do I need any other one of these? Five, 3 mending. 4, 5, 3 mending. Doesn't really matter. We've headed out north, which is also the side that we've got the beacon on. Let's leave it, just in case we run into the spiders. Got a bed. I think... Oh, I'm gonna need some fences. 8, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I always lose a lead. That should be it. This one up there. Got a bunch of empty shulkers. Put the dirt one away for now. Okay. I need an empty hand, that's what it is. Alright, let's go. You. Hey, come here. You. Here. Why do they always fly up when I do that? I don't want to get this one wrong because then it sticks to things. There we go. And we have a sapling and a stick. Here's the one. We have the sapling. Where's your other one? 1, 2, 3. Aha. And a stick. There we go. Okay, that looks like everybody. Oddly, from here, it looks to me... Okay, if I didn't see that door, it looks kind of like night outside, which I don't like that feeling. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're still tied up. Nope. 7, 8, 9. Alright, boys. We're going north today. Before I change my mind. Come on, work crew. No. Stick guy. Hey, you. Come here. Come on. Let's go. Poor dude holding up pies, like, but what about me? I'm sorry, you are... Let's just say you're unemployed for a reason. Oh, forgot about this. There. Happy? Come on. Okay. 1, 2, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. Hey, no. Come back here. There's no system, I just need 8. Come on. Somebody's stuck, I can see that. But there should be at least one more out here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's this guy. Come here. Whoa! That apparently needs to get filled. Before I fall into it. Okay, let's get this last guy. Dude, do you have a problem? Not them. This one. Buddy. Hey, come over here. Come this way. Come on. No. You're worse than a cat. Come on, let's go. There you are. Go this way. Hello. Buddy. Come here. You. Come with me. Come on, dude. Go. I'm not playing the song. Let's go. Please, come outside. Thank you. That one. Alright. I can close the door to keep everybody... Am I safe? And I have a weird idea. I'll be right back. This one. Do I have an item frame? Yeah, just one. Here, take this out, put it there. I don't know why I like it that way, but I do. Alright. I'm wondering, to some extent, if there might be something they're seeing or sensing, even if I'm not actively playing the song. You know, like when the track ends. Okay. So... things first. Oh. Good grief. That's not what I wanted. I don't want to fill that with dirt. That'll use up an awful lot of my dirt. So since I'm close, I'm just going to go grab some cobblestone from storage. It's replaceable. Flip this way. Actually, I have stone. That'll be even better. Let's take one stone box. That width. That width. There and there. Yeah, I'm gonna fall in the hole. And it'll be one of those times where I'm like backing off from a mob of some sort. Got the stone. Got the dirt. Okay. Keep saying, we're done! No. Yep. Nighttime, of course. Looking through the night. Here we go. This little guy's like, you took a bunch of the other ones. Why not me? I'm unemployed. Yeah, well... I don't want to I don't want to succumb to the temptation of calling you genetic testing. That's not appropriate. As I jump scare myself. Jeepers. Chicken. Honestly. Delenn. Okay. It's enough. This one, why not? This one. Really leave the dirt for now. Okay, so we're still down a little bit, but I think that's okay. I'm gonna need to level that spot. So I guess it's not okay? I know you guys want to do work, I get it. This part I will pick up for myself, okay? Just leave me alone. Alright. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a square hole. Am I gonna fall in this one? No. Am I gonna fall in over here? Yes. Hades, yes. Down. Actually, it's not really on fire, so it can't really be Hades. I'm gonna keep forgetting about that over and over and over again, so just get it. Get her done. Okay. How far down did this go? Oh! Alright. This is going to nip over here and need filling. Aha! Well, for today, we're just gonna seal it and we'll deal with it later. Because that's what I feel like doing. Yep, I'm sure Fantastic Sherlock Fox has had meetings like that. Half the time when I'm with scouts, it feels like that as well. It's not just adults that do it, teens do it too, where they needed to make a meal plan for this weekend's camp last week. That's all they accomplished, other than saying, you know, here's what I did in the summer. But yeah, I feel you on the should have been an email business. One of the other things I don't like about meetings, and never have, which is one of the reasons why I'm glad that I'm not currently working at a job outside the home, is, that sounds wrong, but one of the things that I didn't like about meetings is sometimes it really did feel like meetings were there purely for the purpose of either the face-on-face time a boss wanted, or else, yeah, that'll do. Or else things that could have been an email and would have been said, over, and done with now have the opportunity for other members of the team to give you unnecessary pushback on what your content was when they're face-to-face, whereas they wouldn't necessarily in an email. It's like, oh, it's in writing, we're done with it. We'll move on, we'll do the next thing, right? And this probably should be leveled up one more, but at least this blocks off the cave portion. This is going to be one of those days. Okay. That means at least I won't fall into it. into. Okay, I can hear you. Where are you that I can't see? You must have a dip here somewhere. There must be a cave of sorts right under here. Yep. Okay, so I've got a cave that I've blocked off the top of, but I haven't filled up. Fantastic. Oh well. The issue, yeah. Turns out other people are saying that we had to reboot. Find it weird because both of the apps that are able to report to me what my CPU is up to without taking a ton of memory are saying I'm sub 20%. And I'm not getting the encoding overloaded messages at the moment. So I guess that's a good thing. Okay, so let's just get to it. And I need to make sure I get the correct number of these back. I don't lose anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Okay, where's the 8th one? Zombie, lead. You better not be... Oh, there it is. It's in the tree. Aha! That's not what I would have expected. On. There we go. 8. You be good. Let's... That should do. There we are. Alright. Time to go a-chopping. We'll find out where this zombie guy is. Probably do. What did I say? Yeah, I said I wanted them this time. It's going to make the whole chopping process slower, but I get leaves, right? That zombie is not going to despawn, so we are stuck with his noises. I will not be looking to figure out where he got to because that would involve digging up a whole lot of stuff right now, and I'm not entirely sure I want to be doing that. Okay. Ooh, don't want to hit you in the face, buddy. Move. Do that to start. I think it's the rain. Train downtown took you an hour and 20 today due to issues. And everyone else reported disastrous commutes. Including your boss, since his wife took the Range Rover and he had to drive through the flooded highways in the Jag. Woohoo! Yeah, that's not good for the Jag's engine. So I can imagine Mr. Moneybags probably has a little bit of trepidation on that. I take that back. That was kind of rude of me to say, so my apologies. Sort of. This particular boss of Fantastic Sherlock Foxes, the more I hear about him, like, he's comfortable, okay? So he's got himself set up. He doesn't really need to worry about funding. The resulting effect is there have been multiple different stories from Fantastic Sherlock Fox that suggest his boss is very much out of touch with reality. I don't know if it's a Western drive Range Rover, like a left-hand drive Range Rover, or whether it's a UK Range Rover import. That's one thing I don't know yet, but the fact that he chose 2 British cars says a lot. But yeah, when he complains about a bad thing, I mean, I don't like the prices of the parking we've got here either, which doesn't help anybody. Ooh, this one. Got a pet. There we go. So yeah, Fox and I don't like the pricing of the parking, which is part of why he takes the train. Well, we call it the train, but I mean it's light rail transit system. which is, yeah, I mean, it is a train of sorts, but it's not like taking the Amtrak. It's totally not like taking the Amtrak. Brand new top-end Range Rover, huh? Well, it's kind of funny, actually, because Fox is supposed to travel soon, and he's got to book the flights. Okay. And that's fine, but when he travels with his boss, which he isn't this time, I shouldn't say with, but like when they're both traveling, then his boss will say, oh yeah, I'll meet you in the lounge on the other side of security. It's like, hey, you need to remember, I don't have like lounge grade prestige with every single airline kind of thing. And is what he gets, like, is what Fox gets to tell him. And he just assumes, right? Like, I've got more guest passes than I know what to do with, just show up. Which, depending, I mean, most of them aren't super stingy, but depending on which airline you're dealing with and who you've got for staff that day, sometimes they will be quite stingy about it. Being, oh, well, you didn't get a guest pass in advance and you didn't bring it with you, then we're not going to let you in. You know, and it's not like this guy thinks ahead enough to be able to remember to bring them with him. So I really doubt that would actually work. It just so happened in that particular situation, the boss was able to get a flight that day, and Fantastic Sherlock Fox's flights got entirely cancelled. That was right after we had bad hail. And part of our airport's roof fell in. So yeah, fail on that one. Okay, I'm getting... Actually, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put another shulker, because then I can organize for one shulker of leaves. And after that, switch to... switch to just having the logs and the sticks and the saplings can go in the composter. Pardon me. I say that now, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. For wood. So, yeah, I'll get another one for saplings, but then I'm going to have a gazillion. And until it gets full with the sticks in the everything else box. Alright, where are we here? Let's get chopping. And I will probably take down some of this dirt as we go by, just to see that we don't have to make it as far. To my boss's credit, in our 9 AM meeting, one of the team observed that he was bleeding all over the table, and he did express concern the blood would get on his shirt, because it's a nice shirt. Okay, you have to follow that up with the rest of the story. Come on, Fox. What happened? Why was this guy bleeding all over the table? You know, you can't start that one and expect us not to ask. Is he like our daughter and just prone to nosebleeds? Or did he do like Genfar yesterday and happen to be holding something pointy in his hand when he got itchy? Like, I don't quite... You can't leave it there. I'm sorry. You really can't leave it there. The other thing is, if you could, if it's a nice shirt, and he's worried about getting blood on his shirt, I believe him that it's really about getting worried about blood on your shirt. That's fine. But another point of view can also be potentially that, well, there's blood on your shirt, which means you're going to have to pay extra at the dry cleaners. Not entirely sure that was what was meant. But it is something that occurs to me. Okay. Now we have twice as many of the little guys today compared to the last time we were chopping birch, and that's because if we walked away fast enough from one tree to the next, then they didn't manage to get all the pieces picked up behind us. So we need twice as many to make sure we actually get things picked up. I forgot to take motion sickness meds. Woohoo! I'm noticing quite hard. Oh well. We'll go as long as we can on that one. If I start getting too rough, then we'll switch and we'll do, I don't know, Lego or something, because the more I think about it, the more I'm probably going to have to say negatory to tomorrow's stream, which is not good because I want to finish the Weasley's Wizard Wheezes this week to freshen us up for Madame Malkin's next week. So, I suppose I'll have to just... We'll see, because if I manage to handle it long enough, then we shall see how much I can... It's the carrot on the stick, is that I get to do the stream I really want to do. I mean, I do want to do these streams too, but if I get to do the stream tomorrow that I really want to do, because I actually managed to get packed enough today, and laundry enough today, then great. But let's just say I won't be all that helpful in terms of cities' water conservation. Not a thing. But, I mean, I will try and be careful about it, but one of the advantages to being on a roll with laundry, when one does do laundry, is that I can roll my timers one into the next. So in other words, just put in the laundry, do something useful, and it'll probably be not coming back down here to play, because even that to-do list we set up won't be all that helpful initially. Because I hyper-focus on this program, or this game, so much. Love it. But, where am I going with this? But if I go to other stuff, like pulling out the things that I can't pack in a bag, like the bag itself, you know, and the tent I need, and, you know, collect up the outdoor gear that doesn't get washed, and all that jazz, then I pre-pack my bag for tonight's meeting and stuff, do all those sorts of errands, I can probably squirrel enough time for the first load to get through the washer and into the dryer. You know, then you get the second load in, and then I can squirrel enough of other errands of some sort, probably something like that, to get through the dryer load. There we go. Get through the first dryer load. And then that allows me to do packing a little bit. I'm one of those weird people that doesn't actually sort their laundry when they go to put it in the laundry machine. Like, I get away with putting it in every color fold all at once. And that's handy on a lot of fronts, but no, not the sticks. Yeah, I said sticks till it fills up, didn't I? What was that for? I've got lots of leaves. That's logs. That's saplings. These can probably go in this one until I need them. Put it in the bottom corner. I'll turn off that. Okay. But yeah, so I can get through, and I don't sort in the laundry, which means that theoretically I sort after. But the disadvantage in this particular case about not sorting as things go in is I don't even sort by type. So I have quite a mix right now of things that I wear, that I will wear around the house or be seen in or whatever, mixed in with the things that I would still be seen in, but it's actually outdoor gear that I would take to the camp this weekend, which means therefore I have to wash all of it in order to be able to get the camp packed up this weekend. And we've got cool fall temperatures. Now, cool for us means, I think we're looking at about highs of like, what is this here? Convert spell. 18 C. There we go. Okay, and then exclamation convert 3 C. Okay, so we're looking at about highs of about 64 Fahrenheit through to about 37 to 40 Fahrenheit at night as lows. So yeah, that's about 18 Celsius down to about 3 Celsius, which is fine if it's not super windy. I don't like being cold, really don't like being cold. but also it's rainy today. So the impression I get is a lot of the group gear that we're going to be loading tonight, when we unload it on Saturday, we're actually going to need to unload, because there could be a bunch that's actually damp that we need to have not damp. And that's all kinds of not good news. Huh. Okay, well, that's going to need to be cleaned up. So, damp gear is never a good place to start your camp. Me and Traveler can definitely vouch that one, as can C.J. Williams. And I mean, there are plenty others in the communities that I'm in who do camp. So it's not just those two, but those are the two that I've recently had conversations with about camping gear. 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure it's able to do that because you're asking ChatGPT, which unfortunately isn't actually. I've discovered that it didn't actually have access to Google as such. No, Osmond isn't on vacation. I have a suspicion. If I double check this, action queues, history. Yeah, it ran. So let me see where the output should have gone. Oh, great. Sorry, it's executing methods, which just means more layers of me trying to figure out where it went to. So I think that was supposed to be posted in chat, and it's not. Let me just speed comment out things. We're going to have some bizarre behavior like okay showing up in chat, and over here, and on. Action. We're gonna have that, and he'll probably comment about the fact that people tell him to have short responses. Where is my scroll bar? Still have to look past the chat. Okay, because this file that the information is hidden in is 2,600 lines long, and I have to look for something on line 1840 something. I think it was. Oh no, that's in chunks. I'm just going to try and comment this piece out and see what happens. Otherwise, we're doing a log deep dive, which makes no sense. And then we need to re-trigger to test and see if we can get Osmond to wake up. Okay. Swin. Oh, it's going to respond to me, so I shouldn't put that in. Fantastic Sherlock Fox, can you just either ask Osmond a question or ask him to tell him about yourself, tell you about himself, or something along those lines, just so we can see if he's actually awake. I'm going to watch it at this end in the action cues and just see what happens. If you've got the time. If not, it's not a big deal, but I can't do it because he's programmed that he has to respond to me, which is a false test. Anyway, let's get back to chopping and we'll see what we can do in the meantime. Other piece, come on. Ending, no. Actions. Where are we here? Huh. There he is, okay. But he's back, so there's something to do with the way that command worked. All I did was comment out the piece that had been suggested. So I'm suspecting if I go into the logs, it's actually going to be putting out all the output that we had yesterday in logs. What is the rest? Oh, for a beacon. Sorry, I thought you said for bacon. And we've got double answers. that's odd. It gives 2 separate responses earlier on. One for each person, so I think we're okay. But that said, we'll just have to keep an eye on that one. So yeah, we've reversed the change we had before. Okay, so we've got one version of him that's responding under just Oswin, and then we've got another version that if you do exclamation point ask Oswin, it's still Oswin, but that other version is supposed to that other version is supposed to like ask GPT, but it doesn't have necessarily quite as many filters on it. So I'm being honest about that, just so that A, everybody in chat knows, but B, the moderators are also somewhat aware of that fact, just so that we've got an idea of what happened or may have happened if we suddenly get something that's inappropriate or untoward from Oswin who shouldn't. Because it's funny, because staying in character, or part of his background instruction, is that staying in character takes absolute priority over everything else. Quite literally, that's just about exactly the phrasing it was given. I have been tweaking the phrasing quite a lot, but yeah, some of the original stuff was bizarre, and I'm not exactly sure what the original, or what sort of personality the original creator was looking for, like the one who helped me build this set of instructions to interface Oswin with ChatGPT. But they were kind of crazy. I'll definitely say that. They didn't allow adult material exactly, but they definitely were talking about all kinds of traits and things that not exactly relevant in our case. But it left the door open for things. It's like, okay, well, you shouldn't have to specify certain things unless you honest to goodness think your chat is going to do that. We're going to try and, would this bot pass the AI test? Heck no. Nope, it'll give it away pretty quick. But it's being told to pretend it's not. But try as I might, I've been telling it to be brief with its answers. And some days it's anything but. Okay, so we need to fix that hole, but let's just keep on chopping for now. It's probably printing everything to logs, so I bet you I have very verbose logs. Not quite, I don't think they were quite set at debug level, but I think they're, they might be at info level, which is a little bit mild. Okay, yeah, we should have enough to get close to that first shulker full. Where are we here? This way. Map. All right, I don't have the... Keep going to journey map because I don't have the thing turned on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more chunks. 5, 6. What I'm going to do is this. It'll be 5. Out here would be 6. Right? 6? Okay. I said 6-ish, which means we'll take it here. Clearing out a hole so I have a rough idea how far I'm at, or how far we need to be. 6. That's about it? Okay. 1 more. The lines. 5. Oops. 6. And I'm also causing lots of mob trouble. There we go. Alright. That showable on the map? It will be once the greenery falls. Grab this one. That... Oh. Ooh. Huh. Alright. That's going to be trouble. Yeah, that's going to be trouble, so... Dude, bring those back, please. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected was going to happen. That's exactly why I'm covering this over. Dude, stay out. Now, I got a torch in there. Oops. Reach. Reach. That'll do. Not perfect, but... No! No! Get back up here. Your teleport abilities are really bad, guys. Get back up here. And I don't know if I just lost one in there. Yeah, I did. It's below. Come on, buddy. Get out. Come on. There we go. I hope I have 8. We'll find out. And it's getting late again, isn't it? Move. Thank you. Oh, reboot. Reboot. Wow. So, as we've also seen already, is Oswin has supposed to be a 10% chance of responding to random messages that were not addressed to him, but in those 2,600 lines of code, I'm not familiar enough with it to know nor have I tried to actually, to determine whether or not he is able to deal with follow-up questions by just assuming that it's him. I think he can, but I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, there you go. Info! Alright. Now, does this one... That looks like it goes down to a hole, too. So, our sticks and birch leaves. Okay, so we need to go back that way. This one is just a dip. A dip, a dip, a dip, so we're okay. Don't need to worry about it as much. I need to fill it, but it's not a cave that's going to get our Tukus's hand into us, so I think I'm okay with this. So, it sounds like, at least for the direct questioning, it seems to be okay to have this dude existing. I'm not hearing anything that says, no, he's horrible, get rid of him. So I guess that's good. Where am I here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the one behind me is 6. Okay, so 6 is this way. I am hearing lava. That's not necessarily a good thing. That's just a dip. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is this way. Is it a lava access? No. Okay, good. Hello. Oh, that's why that's coming down. There we go. If I actually wanted all of the leaves, then I would be much more diligent in how I'm doing this, but I don't. Okay, so you're getting the wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've got to go this way. 5, 6, right? Right. Now, the wrong one again. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm standing in 6. Okay. Makes very little sense. Me, as in I probably could have done it from the front and just keep counting how far out we need to go. Or I could put a fence post out here. That would even be more sensible. You know. Three, 4, 5. This is block 6. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 2 more. 3 more out that way. And then I have to start switching. I mean, as the crow flies, I should probably go further, but we're not doing diagonals. 1, 2, 3 more chunks. So where this land starts going up is where I need to stop for now. This way till the land goes notably more up. Hello, sheep. Oof. Okay, that's trouble. This is the do not fall in here warning system. And there's another one. Good grief. Maybe leveling things out isn't going to be so easy. Don't push me. Sorry guys, but do not push me. This is a hole, you know? Like, I do not want to fall in a hole. Okay? In case you hadn't figured that one out. Three, 4, 5, 6. So these are these holes. Keep going. That away. Janky! 2, 3, 4, 5. Fairly certain I have enough for the first shulker. I should probably go switch over to the leaf wrecker. But letting them despawn when I've got twice as many guys is actually not too bad. Oh, put the food up there. This one down here? There we go. That'll work. Wait. You kidding me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went too far. I went too far, and I don't like floating trees. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, south by an entire one. This way. I find it's so directionally. I'm so directionally challenged. I've seen on a few streams, and I think it might be Bedrock. But anyways, I've seen on a few streams, whether it's a shader or a texture pack or whatever, but something that actually throws a compass up in the sky. And given what we're dealing with in terms of helpers, and the fact that I'm frequently looking up, that I should probably consider looking for some sort of sky compass. I really am that turned around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 to 11, 11 to 12. Okay, so about an hour and 20. Reboot. Yes, Reboot was awesome. I liked it enough that I insisted that Fantastic Sherlock Fox watch it with me, so we have seen it. I can't remember when. I guess I'm trying to remember if it was when my son was little, like too little to remember it, or if it was before him. And I think it was before him. We watched the whole series again, and oddly enough, here's one of my things. So Dadcraft has been talking a lot lately about his user groups that he's part of. Keep going. For Lego and so forth. And I actually used to be part of a Macintosh users group many, many years ago. And so when it's someone I watch, what am I missing? Oh, I see. Yes. The Reboot opening credits? Not opening credits, yeah. The opening of it. About users and stuff. Anyway, sorry, where I was going with it was just before Reboot was released in the 90s. I was part of a Macintosh users group. One of the youngest, actually, because my dad was also a member, so it wasn't that I went because of him, although he was the driver, and also a separate member. There's been a couple of times that I got my mom to drive me when he wasn't going and that sort of thing. So definitely was me. Anyways, point to that part of the story is to say that one night we actually had a special event set up where Apple at the time couldn't actually do a whole lot of the stuff they do now. So like Pixar uses high-end Apple machines and so on and so forth. But back in the... thank you. So I'm kind of in a bad spot. Back in the day... Well, it feels old to say that, but back in the day... sticks. This one to my left. Apple couldn't do those things. So a company called Silicon Graphics, who actually had a shop in town, or not a shop, but like an office in town, brought in some of their Silicon Graphics machines that look kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, looked a little bit like today's desktop PCs, you know, the little horizontal ones that you could put underneath your monitor. But theirs were, how do I put it? Thickness. Maybe no thicker than the length of your cell phone. That's probably about so is that, and then size-wise, maybe... If you look at your keyboard, like a 104 key keyboard, and imagine that square, then that was probably about as big as the machine was. But they were very high-end machines, and they were the workstations that Reboot was done on. And it was actually done out of a lot of it was actually done out of their office in Vancouver in Canada. So we got to see about 12 to 15 minutes of footage of Reboot before it actually ever was released to hit the airwaves. It was really cool. So I have a bit of a, personal story with that. It makes me love the show even more. But it was really groundbreaking for the time to be able to have characters that, at the time, aside from being odd-colored and somewhat cartoony, they're cartoony in sort of as someone was saying last night, the Tintin style, in a way. And so it looked fantastic to watch them. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 5. I'm standing in the correct one. Perfect. Okay. Now we can just head back towards the mansion and then everywhere in between. So yeah, I got to see that and I totally loved it. Loved every moment. I said, I've got to watch this show. So when it came out, I was watching it obsessively. And so for those of you that watched it, Did you have a favorite character? My favorite character out of that show was actually the weird robot that ran the central office, named Fong. Because he always sounded like he had, you know, the stereotype of Eastern, like Asian-style wisdom. But that at other times, it's a little bit like when you read those things on the internet about Confucius say, blah, 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 whatever it was. Except Fong's knowledge was not a, I say thing. It was just more that he would make something sound incredibly deep and wisdom-y style, and yet it would be something ridiculously mundane. And then as the series progressed, they took that away, which is kind of too bad. But he was definitely still more knowledgeable in a lot of things than a lot of the other characters. I'm trying to remember the main character. Well, okay, there isn't really a main character, I guess. The main trio was in essence, town of Matrix. They had 3 characters that lived there. There was one, the Guardian, and his name was Bob. And he was a human, all humanoid, I guess, because his coloring was all messed up. They're all, weird colors. And his name was Bob, and his job was to get inside games, so game cubes, dropped by the user, the amorphous user that you never ever see. So basically, a user wants to play a game, and the Matrix, they drop in on the Matrix, and Bob's job was to get in, like get underneath the cube, to end up getting put in the game, and then he needed to beat the game, or beat the user at the game, in order to make the GameCube disappear and protect the town. So nobody really explains why that particular town was so useful. No, it wasn't Matrix, it was Mainframe. Sorry, Mainframe. So that was his job, and they would have this cool little voice, incoming game. There's lots of things I could use as sound clips from that, actually, now that I think about it. But anyways, and he was friends with a gal who, at times he had romantic interest in, and other times he didn't, and whatever. A gal, Green, by the way, whose name was Dot. Yeah, Dot Matrix. That's where I was reminded. And Dot Matrix ran the town's diner, and also was a fairly good game player. So she helped Bob quite a lot. What else we got? So that was part of it. And then Dot's little brother, who lives with Dot, was a kid named Enzo. And initially, he was just a cheesy, rather lame, approximately 10-year-old, I think. Don't quote me on that one. I just don't remember that part specifically. Oh, okay. Oh, there goes that one. And he idolized Bob. Thought Bob was the coolest guy ever. Which was not ideal, because Bob's job could get Bob deleted. So basically everybody who was inside a game, if the user won the game, was toast. Like, that's it. They are gone. Whereas if you win the game, then everybody's fine, right? And they're like, woohoo! But everybody who is in the neighborhood, meaning all the other characters of Mainframe who lived in the neighborhood under the cube, would get stuck in the game as NPCs. And that was kind of an interesting premise. I quite enjoyed it. And so, of course, we had a robot guy named Fong who ran the central office of sorts. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it was a weird spherical shape. And they had villains as well, besides the user. And the villains would often try and get themselves in the way so that either our heroes couldn't get into the game to try and save that part of their... Oh. Okay. that we've got some filling up. Oh, some blocking off to do. Okay, well, let's just mark it for now. So the villains were always trying to get these guys not to be able to get into the game. Early on, villain was a character named nope, sorry. What was the first one? Megabyte, which I think was, and he's a robot. And I think his, like, the influence for that one was sort of a comically laughable version of Megatron from the Transformers and Decepticons. I think that's what the influence was there. But then later on, we got a far more scary, well, it wasn't really scary, but far more unwelcome villain by the name of Hexadecimal. Hexadecimal was weird, I mean, in a lot of ways. But she had, while Megabyte had two basically Rocksteady and Bebop type of, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference, type of useless sidekicks that could always be thwarted. Hexadecimal had the power to control the binomes. The binomes were, unfortunately, they were the neighborhood NPCs and characters who, unfortunately, they were often the result of a game having been lost. So if the user won the game and our trio was not able to prevail, then if a neighbor survived, which frequently they didn't, but if a neighbor survived, they were turned into a binome, which looked a little bit like your stereotype idea of a slug or a leech. Oh, that's where that guy is. Okay. Yeah. He was turned into either a slug or a leech type character, and in mass quantities or mass numbers, Hexadecimal could generally get these binomes to glob together. Or not binomes, sorry, the leeches, I guess. To glob together. Really, the binomes were the neighbors, and I can't remember if they were called nulls. Yeah, nulls. They turned into nulls, that's what it was. I had to think about that for a sec. And so she had control over the nulls. But also, Hexadecimal had a weird mask for a face. That she could change her face at will. And that's how her expressions worked, is she would, oddly enough, she would pass her hand across her face. And that's how she would change her expression. And frequently go from, they were sort of like emojis type of looks, as in she had limited quantities of expressions, and she never talked. Like, she said, like, the voices said stuff, but she never actually spoke, per se. Her mouth never moved, but it would look like a theater mask, like the comedy and tragedy type of look. And she was a very feminine looking character. Coloring of the majority of the outfit reminded me an awful lot of the outfit for Deanna Troi from Star Trek: The Next Generation, like the sort of maroon type of look. And I don't remember whether those two villains turned out to be sort of storied as brother and sister, or if they were cousins. That may have actually even shifted over the series. But yeah, Hexadecimal was creepy. Even Megabyte wasn't scared of her, but even Megabyte's minions, Hack and Slash, were scared of her. Yeah, and according to the people that designed it, of course, Hack was the name came from Hack as in hacker, and Slash referring to the notion of a slash command. So that's where that came from. I'm trying to remember. One of them lived in a tower. One of the villains lived in a tower that looked like, kind of like a cobra. Which I think was probably a coding reference. And I can't remember where the other one lived. Hexadecimal was definitely deranged. That's probably a good way of putting it. She was very much deranged. Megabyte was one of those standard I just want power types. I don't mean electricity, but as in like control. But of all of mainframe, and he was quite limited to all of mainframe. Whereas Hexadecimal was convinced that if she managed to get control of mainframe, then she would be able to use that, whatever it was, the central office thing, CPU I think it was. But anyway, she was able, or she was convinced that if she did that, she could take over basically the big city that controlled everything. So like the central, whatever it was. And yeah, it was a fun show. I liked the variety of games that they put in there, and there were a lot of them that you could really see what the game of the day, or games of the day, like video games references were. And they had a lot of silly references to other things too. Like they had one where it was like a Halloween-ish time launch. It was supposed to be released around Halloween, but it turned out not to be. Anyway, but they had one where it was... How do I explain it? It was kind of like Michael Jackson's Thriller in terms of the way Bob got dressed, and Enzo got himself in there too, because he kept wanting to be a helper, so eventually Bob just said, okay, well fine, I will train you as another Guardian. And he became solely responsible, because you're going to get in the games anyways, and if you don't know how to play them well and get trained as a Guardian and what to do as a Guardian, then you're going to get yourself killed. So he sort of had to reluctantly take this guy on. And eventually Enzo figured out, got clued into the responsibilities and stuff. It wasn't just getting to use the cool tools. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, they had all kinds of silly ones. Like they had one, so Bob gets dressed up kind of like Michael Jackson's character from his video Thriller. Dot unfortunately started looking a little bit like Elvira, which was kind of silly. And I can't remember what Enzo got. He didn't like it, whatever it was. They had one that was teasing about Dungeons and Dragons. And then often they had styles that reminded me an awful lot of Crash Bandicoot. But they were definitely just enough off that, based upon the slightly less wild, less Sue-happy culture that was prevalent in the 90s, we didn't see... We could see what it was, and the references were fairly clear, but it wasn't... it was definitely different enough that I don't think that too many companies were going to argue in the... in court that it was worth, getting these guys in trouble for the storylines that were coming out, or, the game ideas. And frequently the user... There was actually... the user would be one who was very clearly the villain in the game, so they're trying to play the game. But the way they were portrayed as a villain in the game. There was, I think, this one that I'm thinking of where it was kind of Halloween themed. The user basically got to play as the main character Ash from Evil Dead, and they were running around with all kinds of accessories that they could plug in onto their body, like a chainsaw on their arm and stuff like that, which is definitely a reference to the Evil Dead movie series. So yeah, that was funky, but it was kind of silly because when they did Crash Bandicoot as sort of a Western theme, you would see the Bignome neighbors as corny NPCs in the neighborhood. A lot of them weren't super swift, so there'd be things like the old guy that ran the corner store sitting there with a piece of wheat sticking out of his mouth. But you have to keep in mind what these guys look like. If you think about... Can I do this here? Yeah, okay. No, I can't. But I have something square. Ah, I know what I'm gonna do. So, a Bignome... Bignomes actually had families too, which was kind of corny. Always. Do I have... Oh, no, in here. Here's the wallet. Hello. Wallet, wallet, wallet. 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 Okay. So a binome, they often had little feet, so which I'm not going to be able to reference too easily on this. Let's make them float. That'll do. We'd have this one. There you go. Okay. And they'd have eyes and stuff, and then they'd also have a mouth. Do I have anything useful for that? Nothing I really want to rip up right now. Anyways, they'd have like eyes and a mouth and little legs sticking out, and they'd have a hat on top. And little cute arms, things sticking out of. The adult ones were often 3 blocks tall, but some of them were only 2. Right? And so these guys would be in the video game. And you'd be going, I don't get it. You know, and then they'd have tools and things sticking out, right? I don't think yeah. So anyway, the point I was trying to make with that was these kind of guys would be like, in some cases, they'd have little legs and whatever with Western boots on them. They might have a cowboy hat on, and then like a piece of wheat sticking out of their face, and you know, and they'd be talking in the worst stereotype drawl from a U.S. region, like the worst stereotype. It was very over the top. I liked it, but yeah, it was very over the top. And I mean, that was meant to be the corniness because it got across the message to the viewer very, very quickly that, and to Bob and Dot and whatever, that there was not going to be a whole lot of help coming from that quarter. And there were times when the neighbors did try to help. Bob's like, "Oh my God, they're so in the way," right? So that was not ideal. Bob and Dot had to deal with that nuttiness. So anyhow, we had all kinds of silly stuff like that. We had, when they had the Halloween one with, as I said, the Ash type character, the neighbors, I think if I remember correctly, the neighbors started out being just people that were scared. You know, they knew this user was coming, and they were treating it like, I don't know, like it was Michael or something. Or Mike, like the Mike Myers, not Mike Myers, what's his name? Anyways, one of the I don't watch horror, so bad with names. That's how they treated it to start with, but then as the course of the game progressed, something shifted, and it was almost like the guy's got a virus or something. Not a virus, yeah, I guess infection would have been the word, but then they turned into walking binome zombies, which were just basically there to be annoying and get in our hero's way. Yeah. But then, as I said, we've also had other ones. We've talked about, referenced Dungeons and Dragons, the video game, and that was dumb, but they all got to be crazy characters. And in that case, they got saddled with... Exactly. Hey, you're using our property. Cool. And the funny part is, I don't remember ever seeing a lot in the way of reboot merchandise. Whoa. Hey. You can go. That will burn. You can go. Go. Hey, don't hit me. How rude. I don't remember a whole lot in the way of reboot merchandise. It was very niche, I suppose. So it was kind of fun. And now I remember, so hexadecimal was... I don't remember what they called her. I really can't remember what they called her, but Megabyte was a virus. So basically it was a virus with a personality. He didn't have a sort of a touch effect. This is why he had to start taking over the area, because he actually couldn't just touch things and infect them. But he wanted the opportunity to plug in and infect the central computer. So yeah. At one point, Bob left, and everybody was left on their own, fend for themselves, and it got weird. Oh, sorry, I derailed. I was talking about the Dungeons and Dragons one. So I'm not going to get too deep into that one, but they had some good bit of humor in there as well. Sometimes the things that happen to our main characters. Other times they had auxiliary repetitive characters. We talked about Fong. One of the other very notable ones, aside from the goons, was they had a guy in town. He was a TV. And Mike the TV. And just about everything that Mike did was very annoying. And everybody would yell, Mike! Tell him to stop talking about it. But he would also, they would be trying to be quiet, and he would start acting like he was trying to commentate the situation. Like, Mike, this is no good. And he would do impressions as well. So, or where they would do knockoff impressions with this Mike character. So, for those of you that remember Robin Leach from Lifestyles the Rich and Famous, Mike had a version of that. And he would also do like nighttime TV commercial spots. At one point he was trying to sell us an empty bucket. And it was a bucket of nothing! And I know I can't do the voice right. Aside from my own gender causing a problem with that, I just can't do his voice right. But he was selling you a bucket of nothing, and it cost only $99.99. Which is kind of ridiculous. But so anyways, he got stuck in the Dungeons and Dragons game with Dot and Enzo and Bob, and they thought he was going to be the worst party member because they all got to be... So I'm not quite sure what the user was up to, but basically these were the party members of a Dungeons and Dragons crew, and they basically had to play the game as their characters. And I don't remember exactly what Bob was, but Dot was some sort of sorceress, I guess, or well, magic caster. Enzo, I think, was unimpressed that he got to be a pointy-eared archer of some sort. They weren't clear whether he was an elf or something else. I think it was supposed to be elf-related, but he was like the short type of elf, not the tall, more Lord of the Rings-inspired variety. He was not impressed. And... what was Mike? I can't remember what Mike had, but he had a role too, so they couldn't get rid of him. They couldn't make him go away, because once you're in the game, you can't get out of the game. It's not like you could just quit. So they had to put up with Mike hanging around and making cheesy comments through the whole thing. But it worked out in their favor a few times because they'd have various ridiculous monsters to try and defeat. And somehow Mike would be in the way or get them in worse trouble or whatever, and they'd manage to get through. And then when push came to shove, they were able to use Mike as a distraction. Possibly. Yeah, but he was dressed up like some sort of little cheesy Robin Hood. So, and Mike got a hat too. I can't remember what his role was per se, but he was bad. He was at it. And that was the point, right? Like he was meant to be absolutely dreadful. That was half the joke. I have more than enough leaves from this one at the moment, so let's just get this put away. Switched out. And I should stop putting this away, but I feel really weird if I don't have it in the top left corner. It also feels weird not to have a bed where these carrots are. Put away the sticks while I know where they go. Okay, it's back to go. 6 by 6 by 6 by yeah. Okay, so in any case, can you tell I really enjoyed Reboot? I thought about actually naming my character after that, rather than Delenn, but unfortunately, two pieces made sense. I mean, one, I like the wrestler character from Up far more, just because I'm a scout leader, and outside of, as you guys have probably noticed, outside of gaming and Minecraft and stuff, and my interest in Harry Potter, everybody and their dog was naming characters after Harry Potter recently, in the last decade, even though the stuff's like 20 years old. But there's still far too many characters named after versions of that. And while I used to, online, go by Delenn Potter, it was like as far as being a character in a fake, of course it's fake, a mock Hogwarts type of simulated community. I got kind of tired of people always thinking that I named it Potter because of Potter, but it wasn't actually. It wasn't. I was borrowing from a family member's maiden name, who quite literally, it's Potter. So I couldn't really help that was the name they had because I was just using a maiden name. Some of the family who are aware of my online name, they know what the first, like the Delen's from because they watched that series with me. But a lot of them still think that my last name, which unfortunately happens to match, is taken from my brother's ex-fiance many, many years ago. And I'm like, no! Just no! Doing so would just be wrong. Like, it just doesn't... Yeah. So, certainly, we've had interesting. But I thought about using something like Matrix or whatever, go with this Delen Matrix. But the thing is, to a lot of people, partly because it was created in Canada and mostly aired in Canada until it went Nick on the US for reboot, most people wouldn't have a clue what that's all about. And sometimes stereotypes of being Canadian are bad enough. I mean, I used to go by Michaela Delenn, and that was because I liked Jane Seymour's TV series, Dr. and Medicine Woman, the whole like strong feminine character. And I happen to like Star Trek, not a Trek over Star Wars thing any more than I'm not a huge fan of Orbit. But I actually quite liked Kate Mulgrew's take on Catherine Janeway. Not all of it. I mean, there were parts that I strongly disagreed with, and some of that came down to her acting, and some of that came down to the writing. And a lot of the storylines that she thought were very cheesy, I will admit. But you can't exactly say that the writing is great in many shows these days. So anyway, I used to go by that, but then eventually that became obscure as well. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just go with Russell because of the scouting connection and just leave it. Leave it at that. Yes, I need to know it. I need to come back to that corner. Let's see how close we are. Okay, that bit's done, so I can start. Let's take a look at the J. Okay, so this bit is kind of done enough. I think we can start heading out toward the east, because the way that it looks on this particular level, I don't know how many blocks height between these bits. I think it's supposed to be 1, but it looks like it could be more. If I start going east and take out this bunch through here, like square it off, then I think we might, between that and the bits that we've already got done, might actually be able to cover off most of the things that I said I wanted to do. Carpet arts are going to be the largest footprint. Well, that's usually what they are, but it's not always the case. So if we go, how far would it be diagonally? If I don't do the taxi math, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got up there. And then it would be diagonally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if I go 5, that's probably reasonable. And then I can use this 6th bit just to like level off, maybe 6 there, and then a little bit here, I think. We'll see how that works. If I cut myself a strip through there, like I've squared off on this left side, and then cut through here, then I'll have a clue of what I'm doing, if it makes any sense. Well, let's see if I can go find that spot. Doo-dee-doo. And I know these are in the wrong place. Do I have a spare bed? I should stop. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the other one off the roof because I keep putting this one down. Do I have a spare bed. Excellent. Excellent. There, okay. Really? Yeah, that's actually a popular thing to do, from what I can tell. Oh, okay, so west and then north. Now, Mike, can I ask? I don't want to. Actually, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't ask. I might DM you if the itch becomes too strong. But sometimes I noticed that some of the people in our community, or one or two of them, were using a name that could be too close to their real one, and then they had influence to change it. Ah, for business. Okay, that's not what I expected you to say. Business was not what I expected you to say for that. Okay. I'm just gonna see if I get a big enough here that I can see it on the map. I could have disconnected that little island bit on one side. Over here, yes. Okay. So if I go up to there and cut another one through, then I should be able to see where everything goes, right? Okay. J. Down here. Ah, okay. J. So, some people have asked what map I use. Yes. So, truth be told, the top two are Xaeros, Xaero, or Journey Map. And as you can see, when I'm doing different things, I like to have the different features available of each one. On the whole, though, when it comes to mini-maps, I prefer the Xaeros mini-map. So that's what I got in the corner. Large map, this one is, you're not seeing a whole lot of difference, but this one is the Xaeros world map. So it's a two-part piece. Two-part piece. Wow. Smart! Okay. Where am I? There we go. But if you use Journey Map, it's an all-in-one thing. One of the things I liked for Journey Map is for a long time, the Xaeros set did not show mobs live on either this map or on the mini-map. So that's why I started getting into Journey Map, was because I wanted to see the mobs, because, well, I mean, not only am I a chicken, or a wimp in some respects, it was quite helpful to be able to see the mobs chasing me down. But also it was helpful when doing things like modded with Feed the Beast and so forth, because those ones... Sorry, I was trying to find my cut through here. Because the Journey Map, I believe, had a better Feed the Beast integration in terms of being able to see where things go and being able to deal with claim chunks and so forth. I think Xaeros handles it now, but I haven't really looked at that part recently because I haven't used that recently. But they each do, as I say, they each do slightly different things, so it's helpful. When it comes to intentionally wanting to see the caves and being able to follow things, I find this one, for a long time, this one, which is the Journey Map, it has the Show Caves feature. You can see these are the individual trees, because I'm down low enough that it's actually showing me individual stems. It's kind of funky. I didn't even know it could do that. But the Journey Map had this cave layers thing, which you could go by chunks, like vertical chunks. No, that's not quite the right math for it, but cool stuff. And so for a long time, Xaeros didn't have that, but now it does. You can pick which mode you want for your cave, and then you can pick your top Y level. Which I find funny, the top Y level it's showing you affects what you're going to see. I could show you, but I'm not going to, because that definitely lets me see what's below me, and that's kind of too cheaty for my mood at the moment. But the point being that I can now do that. I mean, there's layered, there's full, which ignores everything, and you see all the way down, which is not helpful. The off works great, except when you're in the caves, it doesn't actually show you the caves at all. 0. Which is kind of not helpful. So, yeah. I want J, I want the topo. Okay, good. So if I take out this island area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably enough. And if we need 6, we can go there. We don't really need that much buffer, but I can carve this bit off later. This will help me figure out where I'm at and make sure that it's semi-flat. So clearly, from what we saw, this is multiple layers thick. I think they're trying to color code it, but it's difficult to say because these blue ones, I don't know if that's 1 block deep or 2 blocks deep for the water. Excuse me. And all of these brown ones on the lower level seem to have a shadow outline right around the edge. And it gets dimmer the farther down you go. Or not dimmer, a darker color. But I don't know if that's 1 block. If I do this, and go J. Yeah, I'm standing in the bottom. It doesn't change very much. So this one, up 2. Yeah, it doesn't change. But it's up 2, so maybe that's 1 block, which would mean all these dark lines are 2 blocks high. But at least that tells me where I need to clear cut. Right? Yes. And back in towards the mansion. Am I going south? I don't want to go south. I want to go north and then come back. J. I'm on the island. I'm on an island! No. Which means we have a bit of dirt to take down. Great. Great. Yeah. Reaper! Oops. Where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reaper, I sorta see you. I don't want to see you any more than that. Oh, did I? Yeah, I hear you. That's not good. Go away. Go away. Alright. J. So we have a lot. A lot. I'm just gonna start sweeping back and forth till I get back out here. Always need more dirt. Yes, we do. That's actually the funny thing about it is there's probably some sort of way to make dirt as such. I don't off the top of my bean remember it. I think it's got to do with a multi-step process, if I remember correctly, that involves 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm too far. Aha. Okay, well, that's cool. I think it involves a multi-step process that had something to do with a stone generator sort of farm, which then can convert into moss. But I'm not entirely sure how it went from there. There were more steps to it than that. And it also involved a mud farm to get clay or something along those lines. It was really confusing. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. Maybe it was a clay farm I was thinking of when I thought about that. So non-renewable blocks in always a thing. Sand is another non-renewable. One of the pieces I would love to see in Minecraft. It doesn't always have to be that everything is renewable, but given the grand scale with which 22, come on. Given the grand scale with which a lot of people seem to like to build, it... Uh-oh. No. No. That guy got in the way, and I accidentally took away his stick. But yeah, given the grand scheme of things, if people like to build really large, then I don't think that it would be necessarily unreasonable to put ways in the default of having overly complex farms that basically do the same thing. I know I have No spawn point at the moment. That is bad news bears, but that's okay. We'll go with it. So, that comment. There was something to it. But I would like to be able to make a lot of things renewable, but one of the pieces I would also like to see is some of the non-renewable blocks. I'd like to be able to see you get them from other things. I'm not saying we necessarily need a grinder per se. But the way that cobblestone, that's the word I started with, comes from stone when you mine it. I think it would be kind of cool if we had it such that when you mine cobblestone, that it wouldn't always drop cobblestone, like maybe at some level of percentage chance of mining cobblestone and getting a chunk of gravel. Which I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense in a logic way, but it breaks it down. And then the same sort of thing with gravel, that there was some sort of percentage chance that, kind of like there is to get flint, that you could either get flint or maybe stand by itself out of a piece of gravel. You know, just the idea that it breaks down further and further and further. I'm not asking for erosion. I mean, that's a fun concept, but it doesn't belong in the base game. But those sorts of things would be kind of fun, you know, so that we could have, in essence, a way of crushing things. But I also recognize that from a reality standpoint, because there are multiple different kinds of rocks in reality, that just stone as such, breakable down into something else, isn't necessarily logical. But I also think that more important than that should be that a lot of different recipes need to become two-way recipes. So my biggest beef in terms of lack of two-way recipes at the moment is the string to wool thing. A lot of it's just because I'm an arachnophobe. You know, yes, there are ways to get cats. And actually, now that I think about it, that's probably partly why I have so many cats showing up in my base, is because I have an iron farm. That's probably related. So, yeah. Anyway, but I can't necessarily coordinatedly have a cat farm. Nor do I want, you know, the growing number of cats always loose to be able to give me strength. That's not ideal, right? I know there's ways of having a non-contact spider farm, and that's great. I have to mine diamonds to hire someone to build one for me, because I sure as heck am not building one that involves a spawning. No sir, no way. You know, the same way that there are like non-contact creeper farms. There are non-contact there's non-contact witch farms, which involves an awful lot of contact before you get to that non-contact point. There's a lot of those. And here's another one. Just throwing it out there because there are a good number of my viewers who also play on this server. Some of them are sleeping for me, thankfully. But one of the things I would like to see at some point is a limited season. Now, hear me out. Where are we? I should have followed me. Follow me, but give me top graphics. Okay. A limited season. And what I mean by a limited season would be that, yes, we can do enough of a base that we can survive. Okay, that's part of my theory, or part of the premise. And we can make our bases cozy. So if you're into decorating or whatever, have at her. Okay. But what I'd like to see for a season, just as some variety, is that just about every non-stop farm, including, say, iron farms or whatever, we have a limited one, right? So that nobody has their own iron farm or their own this or their own that. So I know it kind of kicks the notion of a shopping district in the backside for things that aren't crafted. You know, that's the side effect. So things you have to make, great. Or things that you can farm. So if somebody says, let's say we put a drowned farm in, and then it would be you could have like an industrial district that just grows because it's difficult to put too many pieces close together. They start colliding with one another, and redstones cause each other problems, and yada yada yada. But it would be kind of cool to have like a farms district or zone or something. And there's only one. There's only one of the whatever it is. Right? And I think that part of that would be, I know fewer of us would learn from the farms just because somebody else will get to it before we do. I do acknowledge that. But it sometimes just seems to be excessive and confusing, and I'd like to see more, some say the season of build, but that wouldn't be an accurate way of putting it, because some players do get very, very creative and build for their enclosures. So whatever they've built, they enclose it, they hide it, they blend it in, whatever you want to call it. It's just, you know, it's an idea. And the thing is, it's always going to be one of the ideas that every time I say that, I'm not lacking in resources, I'm not lacking in anything, in terms of like ability to access stuff. I mean, just about everything that I don't have that I want it in near term is for sale. You know, or I could make a barter deal. Like it's not a huge thing. So that's not meant as a complaint on anything. It's just more of an idea about what would happen if, like sort of a social experiment, I guess. But what would happen if we only ever had one? What would happen if? Etc. It makes it, I don't know. It would make it more like the renewable resources are renewable, but less so because you've got to use the one and only place to get them. I don't know. Maybe it's a dumb idea. Maybe it's a... No. I guess my experience comparison, which is very limited, is you guys have seen on streams what my skill level is, experience level. But let's picture that with my kids who like to build more than do redstone, for example, and on occasion we've actually played vanilla with them a little bit, but it almost always ends up being that my daughter builds her sheep farm. That's predictable. We're good with that. And or my son usually does, but we end up talking about trying to break up the quote-unquote jobs as such, and it's not how it works. Not how it ends up working out. A lot of these farms get built by me, or some of the things get built by them, because I don't necessarily have time to do all of them. Those sorts of things. And I don't have the inclination to do all of them. Like, I would tell you on the farms, the family servers, I guarantee that there has never been a shulker farm, and I guarantee there has never been beacons. And only once did I ever try and deal with even collecting up a sponges for a sponge rental system. Of course, family, never rental, but you know. So it's not a, hey, I want everybody else to do it for me so I can have that experience. That's not the point here. I mean, it really does sound like that when I say it, but that's not the intent. This side, gotta go west. So anyway, it's just one of those, like, I wonder what a season would be like if we only ever had one of whatever it is. And that's all it comes down to. Well, but that's the thing. If they said, I'm going to build the giant, whatever it is, farm, and they got to it first, okay, great. Build some other farm. It's not an easy way of doing it. I mean, like, I know it's never, ever going to be a popular suggestion. Ever. Yeah, I don't think it's actually going to happen. Like, I can say it, but really, it's just running my mouth, frankly. I'm not disappointed, like, in the idea that I know it would never happen. But it was one of those I'd like to see. It's a what if. It doesn't necessarily mean it's actually going to happen, ever. And frankly, we sort of had that effect going when I played a season on modded. Not the same length season, but I played modded. And where am I? Okay, there we go. We had that going for a while, but the reason that worked as long as it did, eventually fell apart, but the reason it worked as long as it did was actually because being modded, so many different options and so many different directions people could go in that frequently everybody was sort of barking down a different path, and we didn't end up having a whole ton of duplication. But I say eventually because depending on how complicated your mod set is, like all the mods, that lasted longer than it did on the, what was it, Create server, I think? Leaf box, I don't need that anymore. So, yeah. And I would never give up this community to go and try and do something like that as a solo server. Or a solo server? That's not even a word. I guess a solo project. Yes, I talk about solo projects. Yes, I talk about an aggregation world, which, by the way, has failed. I just backburnered it ADHD style. So, yeah. Like, it's not a thing. I just backburnered a lot of things in Minecraft. I initially had this idea that I was going to do multiple different things in Minecraft, so somewhat concurrently, so that when I felt things were getting boring on this world, we just switched to another one. Multiple things happened. I kept assuming just about every time I streamed that everything I was doing was boring, which may or may not be the case. I'm not even going to fathom that at the moment, because that doesn't do well for mood. But also, I ended up with so much like off-camera grindy stuff to get done, but I just don't have enough hours in the day. Focus and motivation and whatever aside, just being a human being, yeah, I don't have enough hours in the day. Part of it is because I'm not so good at the farms. I will acknowledge that. Part of it is because of that. I don't think I actually have any roses. Yeah, I certainly don't. Okay. And over time, I've been trying to do different things in the various seasons of DC's worlds so that when I ever get around to dealing with an archive world of the various different seasons in different regions and whatnot, that I will have some variety in terms of some of the things that I've done in different seasons to schematic up and paste in, or schematic up and build again from scratch, or whatever flavor hits that day. So that eventually the world will have a lot of different things. But I'm acknowledging that in order for that to happen, there are a lot of things that I'm just going to have to duplicate for myself in DC's worlds as part of my learning experience. So, for example, I've never done a gold farm. I've seen some very conceptually simple ones, even though like the build of them is huge, physically huge. My favorite and the most likely for me would be one of the semi-drop farms where you've got these zombie piglins. Ziglins, I guess? Zombie pigmen, sorry. Piglet. Whatever they're called these days. The ones that keep showing up in my base. We get them wanting to go squash turtle eggs. And then you just build a column that has a couple of different sets of turtle eggs in it that attract them. And then they will spawn and go running to the center, try and squash them, but that they will not be able to reach the eggs and fall down. And I can either, and I could just let them fall and just use it as a gold farm, or I could let them fall onto something that would force me to kill them manually. That's a possibility, but that's the style I would look at. And I've seen that one done in this world. I've seen it done. I've seen it finished in this world. I've seen it in process in Minecraft Mom 82. I think it was building one. I've seen piglin farms. Not piglin farm. Barter farms. Is that the word? Give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apparently I have an addiction to going 7. Okay, let's go this way. Better off? 6. This way, okay. So, I've seen that, and it's not conceptually difficult. It's more of a farm, in that case, where you pretty much get your piglins and you trap them and you keep offering them stuff and you just collect up what they throw back at you. Conceptually not hard. Speed, definitely a problem. I've seen some that are really, really fast. I've seen some that are slow. I've seen some where the player needs to be heavily involved. And I've seen some where East. I've seen some where the player needs to be involved. I've seen some where the player is entirely hands-off. I'm not necessarily sure which format I would use. But I've never done... Okay, so suffice to say then, I've never done basically nether farms. Right? And I've never done end farms. And... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6. Okay, so let's work our way around the edge. I'm not even on the edge. Living on the edge. So, it's lots of I've never done's. And maybe this isn't the one. I've got a theme this year. And we've talked about how I've had other themes that I've thought about and discarded. But because I'm so indecisive and I end up wanting to build my own farms anyways, like my own copy of things, maybe there'll be a season of I just want to learn farms. They are going to be very, 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 very ugly because I'm not going to necessarily block them in. And there might be a whole lot of use of other tutorials. Maybe that's what I need for a season. I don't know. Just thinking aloud. I need to learn, oh, okay, give me a sec on that one. We've got about 15 minutes here, so I just want to pick this up. That. Go. Which allows me, I forgot to pin it, so let's pin it. If you guys ever need it, I believe that one is !QOTD. If you ever need to get it printed in chat. and I'm fairly certain I made that available to any user, so it can be posted easily. Now the question was, bar or beat you to it, Fox. I think I can tell that you don't have audio at the moment. That's okay. And do I have? Oh. Here I go, giving Oswin a personality, and I've still got my closed captions off. Well, that's one of those SMRT moments. Here. Okay, question was, bar or liquid hand soap? That's funny. I would agree with you about not liking the tacky feeling of bar soap. The tacky, sticky feeling. The thing I don't like about liquid soap is sometimes the manufacturers sometimes the manufacturers put far too much glycerin in the soap. I think it's what it is. It makes it slippery. And then I find that I can't get it off of my hands. So this is the problem I have when I'm doing, we talked about my bane of laundry. I dislike doing laundry, right? But this is one of my problems when I'm soaking things in the sink for oil or grease-based stains, is that I don't dish soap. Like when you're doing dishes in the sink, it's helpful to be able to get all the grease and whatever off. So people say, use the dish soap to get rid of laundry stains that are, the greases and whatnot that you have on your dishes. The problem is when I do it with laundry, I feel like it coats my hands in a way that I just can't get off of my hands. And I find that there are certain brands of liquid soaps that do the same thing. Meaning, as in, I wash my hands, and then it feels like I want to wash my hands with something else because I can't get the soap off. And it doesn't seem to matter whether that brand has included, what's the word? Whether or not that brand has included aloe or not. Like some people have tried to blame it on the aloe. But I really don't think that's what it is. If anybody knows, I am more than all ears. Because that is something that really annoys me. On the other hand, though, liquid soap has the perk in the fact that I don't like doing hand cream. So if I use a liquid soap that intentionally has moisturizers or something in it, then we are in good shape. Battery looks a little naked now. There. To flush out this one I kind of chopped a little too much off of. There. Sure, that'll do. Yeah, I have to get better at that. We talked about stains are not my friend. And it's funny, Sherlock Fox can get them out, but sometimes it takes 2 rounds or 3 rounds for it to actually come out. And he does it, and it's not a problem, it's just I should not be the one who's being a clumsy, klutzy person with issues keeping my shirts clean. I'm going to blame ADHD on that one because I get distracted enough that I lose the peripheral knowledge of the fact that I've got a fork with something on it. That's embarrassing. Like, very embarrassing that that's the case, but hey, it happens. It's the reality. So I have to deal with these soak your shirt kind of businesses. And reactivating stains that do not want to come out because they've dried. Now, they're not always the heat set ones, but they're dried. Sometimes there are ones, because you have to dry them, right? They work best, or to get stains out, it works best when your garment is wet. But ours is, there's wet, and then there's, we have to let the garment dry, because we soaked it once and we want to know whether or not we actually got the stain out. While it's wet, you can't tell. So, yeah. me and laundry. This is actually part of why sometimes I keep thinking I should purchase a lot more shirts that are camp equipment appropriate. Yeah, my camping gear appropriate. And the reason I say that is that I don't want to ruin them. Like, this is the thing about the camping equipment ones. I don't have a whole ton that I would want to wear to camp. I don't like looking messy at camp. You know, I mean, I know they're making YouTube content so they want to look nice and tidy, but honestly, have you ever... Okay, maybe there's only one or two I can think of, but most of the time when I see outdoor enthusiast channels trying to tell you about their favorite equipment or their favorite hike they've been on or whatever, or what backpacking foods to have or something, we use Grandma's Secret too, but it doesn't always work. And actually we used to get that at Bed Bath & Beyond in Canada, but I don't think that store exists anymore. We'll have to see who else sells it, because I think we're starting to get low. The other one that actually I don't think is made anymore, but frankly was a lifesaver, and I really hope the container for my mother lasts, was something that was called Pink Solution. And really, it looks like petroleum jelly. And it's not even really all that pink. But when you put it in water, it kind of turns pink. And that seems to be good for a lot of things. It resurrected a lot of stains that I thought were set. But I really would like to get... This is kind of a weird backwards conversation, but cotton t-shirts are cheap, right? But the thing is, for outdoor wear, aside from, let's say, fire resistance, natural or more natural fabrics like cottons and jersey and that sort of thing are not appropriate for camping, particularly in the cool weather we have. So I don't want those for outdoor wear. But if it's a stained t-shirt, you know, I'd rather wear it for camp wear so that it's not in the shall never wear it again unless I'm suddenly doing gardening work or painting a fence or something. And, you know, that way I could relegate it to... I haven't used a Tide stick in a long time, actually. That's an interesting recommendation. I've used, sometimes when I think, okay, I'm going to be sitting on this for a while, or I'm in a rush, I don't really have an opportunity to change t-shirts right now, and I just need to make it sort of go away, which really is diluting it. Then I've used like the Tide to Go kind of stuff, if that's what you're referring to. I find them useful, but it really does feel like I'm diluting it, I guess. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close enough. And then I can go back out to this little note. Okay. So, yeah. That's one of those on a roll projects. So when I'm having a day where scrubbing laundry actually seems to be getting me somewhere, as in t-shirts that I had sort of forgotten about for a while or left be for a while, when I actually have some success with it, then I can be on a roll and want to scrub laundry for, like, get a hyper focus. Not all day or anything silly like that, but I get so that I want to say, okay, I'm on a roll, how many of these can I fix? And end up with a minor fail, or just a distraction of something else. What's the word the gamer uses? Dopaminergic. Yeah, there's your $5 word for the day. That takes my attention away, and then it's like, well, I'm not very good at this, so I don't really want to go back and finish the project. Or we're back to the soap one. I got soap on my hands in a way that doesn't feel like it wants to rinse off, so I'm not particularly interested in blah, 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 and there she goes. So, yeah. But the thought process had gone on along the lines of, if I was wearing a t-shirt that is appropriate, say, more artificial fibers, quick wick or whatever, or that I could use it to camp. I like long sleeve shirts a lot too, but I could wear it to camp. Then I could, then if I got something on it, whether it be at camp or elsewhere, And if once again it didn't come out, then I would just relegate it to the camp stuff. Now, there's probably a bunch of t-shirts I have that I would wear if I was not going anywhere or being seen by anyone at all. But I've noticed in the last year or so, maybe, that whether or not they would actually show on camera for streaming, I know about it. I know about it enough that I don't wear them for streaming. Which is great, but that means that over time, that minimizes the quantity of usable shirts in the collection. Yeah, I have some shirts that I like that, it's just the old-fashioned, you know, chemical, deodorant, and whatnot equals pit stains that eventually, whether they used to come out or not, no longer do so. And that's just, you know, the way it is. So I've got a bunch of shirts that are like that. Also, you know, standard cotton t-shirts tend to get holes eventually. And if I don't count I will repair those someday shirts, then, well, guess I'm sleeping out here. I'm probably stupidly close. But I have a bunch of those shirts that have micro holes in them. And that micro holes thing is worse when I've got... I went up too high. That explains a lot. I think a lot of the micro holes are worse when I wear a belt. I'm not quite sure why, and I don't necessarily think it's just, you know, proximity of belt point to gut and t-shirt, pinching it and all that stuff. But I don't know why. Just my belts eat my shirts. Time check. Perfect. I'm seeing on my screen sub 3 minutes, like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, on that note, where did I put this one? Refresh the screen. I don't owe anybody today because it would have been Poodle, but Poodle says she has things to do, so she's not streaming today. However, for your sanity and for mine, because that to-do list, the number one thing that should be on said to-do list is laundry. That while I'm on a laundry conversation roll, maybe that's what I'll do, is put in laundry and then see if I can get myself to do a round of soaking some other laundry so that if that actually works, then I can throw it through with the other stuff. Where are we? J. Yeah. So it's this island. If I can get this out. You can see that we have a lot of, cleared out, but we have a lot of space left to go. On the other hand, I shall have next to no excuses if I run out of wood. Between this and the stuff on the roof, up on the roof, then I should not have any excuses about not having wood for chests and so forth, and signs and such. And which means that there's a point at which I'm going to get to, okay, we got loads of space, I dilly-dallied as long as I could, and now it's time to do a project. And really, the carpet art stuff is an easy one. I just need to actually be at my computer like an hour before I start. And it doesn't necessarily take an hour, but yeah. But then I can actually set that up, and then we'll have a schematic, and more or less off we go. So I need to do that. Also, I know Genfire was talking yesterday in her stream about her more organic builds, that she just kind of, I shouldn't say organic, but organic in terms of like coming up with them from scratch or from a picture, and being able to very successfully turn 2D things into 3D things in Minecraft. And she says, yeah, just try it, just do it. I'm on the fence. Okay, I'm 8 seconds over. I'm gonna finish the verbal thought. So, okay, where am I? Yes. Okay, again. So, I could try and do Nowhere Man from scratch. And that's something that actually might be worth it. Maybe intersperse that with some carpet art, or maybe intersperse that with some, the flattening out for the carpet art. So this is definitely flattening out required. I just have to figure out where to put Nowhere Man. And decide on his details. So Nowhere Man, Nowhere Man, like hexadecimal, okay, is actually one that has two different faces. It's a great big hunk of brown, which is confirmed to be carpet because the guy's fuzzy. I call him Nowhere Man because if I had closed captions on, the moderation would not like it. Because his name is actually Jeremy Hillary Boob, PhD. Anyway, but he's got that, but then like hexadecimal, he has a separate face. So his face does a lot of more things, and it does move when he talks. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what the materials would be for that. Anyhow, that's the ramble for today. I think we've gone as far as we need to go. If the mods have any preferred suggestions on who's live, I am all ears. Otherwise, we shall find somebody. And one of the other things I have not been recording lately, but may start tracking in a more serious sense, is just who we've raided when, so that I have an idea how often we raid the same people. Now, there are some I will continue to do so, but broadening horizons is definitely an option. Wicking strips in the waste plant pots. Ooh. I have a few self-watering pots. And I tend to dry those out, but for the most part, I'm a what do you call it? Succulents kind of person, because I tend to forget a lot. Like to the tune of a month. I've got one plant that's not a succulent that I'm using as sort of my bellwether. It's terrible, but it just is a plastic water bottle type of inverted thing with a ceramic what is that thing called? Anyway, it's irrelevant at the moment. But so I've got one of those things, and when the water bottle's empty is supposed to be my cue to water the succulents, but it's not working because it becomes background and it's all of things. Mickey's a funny one. I really like Mickey's work. Really, really, really do. And would love to raid Mickey more often. My concern with Mickey is, as you say, they've been up 4 hours. So if I was to raid them, they might disappear suddenly. The flip side of that is that they also sometimes go a long time beyond. So I don't know. Like, I'm not really sure whether or not Mickey's a good target on any particular day. Now, I mean, I could just be, smart and ask them, but that is not smart in my category. It doesn't exist. Oh yeah, gives this. Okay, so we have enough stuff put around. I'm just going to tie these guys up and we will raid out after that, because that means I can log out. I know it's cleanup that should be doable offline. It's a thing. I will let them fly away and do their own searching business. Far too much, far too often. And they will get way out there looking for all the supplies and stuff and things. Uh-oh. I thought I had one. No. Can I not? Oh. So we're down to a bunch less than we had before. I'm not going to worry about it at this particular moment. I can definitely breed Oops. Read the guy up who's inside. You go there. And you... I'm not going to worry about it too much because we had 8 and now we've got 6. I'm not entirely sure who we missed. Oh, there, these 2. Aha. Okay, that was stick guy. You can go here. You, I'm sorry. You can go there. And I thought I had 8. See, this is where the other problem comes in. My leads go missing. Alright, well, that's a lead. Why is it over there? Okay, there we go. 8. Halfling dude. Hey, come here. This one? There. Now we've got 8. And... slept. Alright. Back this out. Right, so we've got a clearer space. There. And we had some fun. And Mike, you are welcome anytime you like, if you're on this server, to come and clone my allies. You're totally welcome. Awesome! Well, that's where we're going then. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thank you, Mama Bear. Amazing. Do you... Oh, give me a second. I don't know if she has the ability. Do you have the ability to do the raids? Because I don't think I gave it to everybody. Shame on me. Community, roles... Thank you, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I appreciate that. Okay, so that should do the trick, I hope. What else have we got going? I think that's everybody. So we're going to start that raid to Mickey. And yeah, we had a great time, or at least I had a great time. I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you very much for listening to me talk your ear off. Osmond did not go crazy today. So whatever triggered it the other day did not seem to happen today. Which means I'm back to the drawing board on figuring out what caused it. Oh well. Thanks everybody, I appreciate it. Let's get this going. Because I can go on for hours. Oh, that, okay, exit. So, let's go next stream, start that one, and then let's try this again. Alright, so it says I'm up tomorrow. I'm hoping so. So we'll cross our fingers. Flash. Raid. Oh, there, good, my button works. I know they have an ability in the mod screens to drop raids for me, or from like little parachutes. I never remember. It's a maybe stream tomorrow, and if it is, it'll be the Weasley's Wizard Visas, and depending on how much I get done, it could be a full-length stream, and we'll start the second part, or it'll be a truncated one. We'll see. So thank you everybody for coming in. I really appreciated our moderation team today, including Mama Bear 65, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. We had conversation from Mike Burton, Yellow. Oh, and I missed last coming in. Apologies. Total Pirate, and we are off to Motown Mickey. So, have yourselves a fantastic day. I will be lurking after I say hello on the other side. And until then, bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.